Hello and welcome to Envision. I'm Deanne Conrad, the Community Relations Supervisor, and Brian Maher is our Superintendent here in the Sioux Falls Public Schools. We've been busy the last several months, and this is really an ongoing process, the strategic plan. We moved out of the design phase and into the implementation phase. What's happening right now?
Well, just what you're saying is exactly right. We're into the implementation phase. We started with the needs assessment, and then went into the design and what's this going to look like, and now it's time to implement. So what that really means is the work starts now. We get into trying to determine what strategies are we going to put in place. We've talked through with the board already what some of our measurable goals are going to be over the next 3, 4, and 5 years. So we've got to make sure we've got strategies in place to try to accomplish those goals.
Right. And those measurable goals, some are already in existence, and there'll be some measurements that we set as we go along. Is that right?
That's exactly right. You know, one of the things that the Sioux Falls School District has a long and proud history of is being a goal-oriented and strategic district. So that's not something new that this process has brought on. This is just the next iteration in that process. So we're looking at really four priority areas. One of those is student outcomes, and when you think about that, you think of student achievement, graduation rates, those sorts of things. We're also looking at school climate and culture. You know, what are our buildings like? What are the behaviors like in the buildings? Those sorts of things. You know, some big areas.
Environment around them, sort of.
Right, right. We also look at district staff. You know, how are we staffed, and how engaged is our staff? But also, what does our staff look like in terms of makeup? What's the makeup from an age perspective? What's the makeup from a gender perspective? What's the makeup from an ethnicity perspective? So we'll look at that as we go. And then the fourth priority area that we'll look at is our community engagement. And how do we, and really how do you really help us in that area fully engage our community? I saw a quote that makes a lot of sense earlier this week, and it talks about how as a society we're just inundated with information, but what we lack sometimes is wisdom. And right now we have plenty of information to provide our community, and we've got it in a number of areas. Now what we need to do as a district is to develop that wisdom to make sure that information, the meaningful information, is accessible, et cetera, et cetera.
So those things will take place not only over the summer months, but well into the fall, and this plan takes us out 5 years or so.
Yeah, you know, the implementation phase itself will take us the next several months, and hopefully by the time school starts, we're really ready to roll out for the entire community, and as you drill down for our staff, what this is going to mean. But then you should see and hear about this strategic plan for the next 5 years.
All right, well, more to come. There's always several steps in any great process. You don't just jump to the final conclusion immediately. So we'll be informing you of those steps along the way so that you can continue to be engaged in your child's school. Thanks for joining us on Envisions.